nothing to you. Leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone. Listen, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Leave it. Oh, I'm not doing nothing to you. Leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone. Listen, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Leave me. I work here, and this guy's treating me this way. I work here. Look how he's treating me. Look at that. Look. All right, I'm gonna leave. Let me grab my stuff. Why are you aggressing me? Why are you aggressing me? Look, what are you doing, bro? That's my phone. Bro, I did not ask you to behave this way. Look what you're causing, Danny. You're live, bro. You're going live, Danny. You're going live, bro. That's it. You're right. Look how he's treating me, guys. Look how he's treating me. I'm an employee. I'm trying to get my stuff, and look how he's treating me. Look, he wants me to go to jail. He's gonna go to jail. I'm trying to. Why are you treating? Why did you cause this? Why did you cause it, Danny? Look how he's treating me now. That's crazy, man. You trying to grab my phone?
I'm recording you.
Okay, good. Are you going live? Are you also going live?
Yeah.
Because I'm going live.
I am too.
All right.
So let's go.
Okay. As soon as you leave me alone. Leave me alone, bro. I need you out of my way.
Go.
I need you out of my way. I don't feel safe, bro.
I'm not in your way.
Yes, you are.
The entrance is over.
Yes, you are. You're harassing me and pressuring me.
No, I'm not.
You're pressuring me, bro.
Nope. Let's go.
You already grabbed me for no reason.
No.
Except I'm here. Look, Daddy.
Boss, you're gonna
That's
go to
crazy,
jail.
bro. See, look, he's telling me I'm going to jail.
Yeah, I know. If you don't,
I'm going to jail. I guess I'm going to jail, guys. I'm going to jail because why? That's crazy.
I know. If you're doing this.
I'm not doing this.
You are. You're not.
What do you care about my side? When did you listen to my side?
You didn't want to talk to me.
Because you didn't approach me. You approached him.
No.
Yeah, get off my property. That's it.
Get off his property.
Yeah.
Get off my property. That's it.
All right, Danny. Yeah.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
Why?
Huh?
What was I trying to address before that?
Walk out to the front.
What was I trying to... Bro,
Walk out to the
you understand?
front.
No, do you understand?
Walk out to the front.
You want to talk? We can talk. Do you understand that they have been mislabeling certain items and charging wrongfully for items they're supposed to be charging in a certain way?
One, Mary.
This is crazy. That's it, what, Danny? Dude, I don't want, well, because I'm still doing my job. I'm trying to help you do your business right. Yo, my goodness, bro. Why are you grabbing me this way, bro? I'm trying to walk away. You're still grabbing me.
But you're not leaving.
Why are you still grabbing me? I'm trying to leave, bro.
You're not leaving.
But why did you grab me then right now? Why did you grab me right now?
You're not leaving.
Why did you grab me right now?
Go.
Why are you assaulting me? You're assaulting me, bro. I didn't do nothing to you.
You're not leaving.
I'm trying to leave, but you keep grabbing me. You're attacking me. Why should I leave when you're attacking me, bro?
I'm not doing
You grabbed me right now. Why did you grab me?
I didn't grab.
Why did you grab me? Look, I'm trying to be soft now.
Let's go.
Why are you guys embarrassing yourselves, bro?
I'm not. Let's go. Come on.
Can you let me go, bro? Let me go,
You
bro.
so many times to
I'm
leave.
trying to, yes. There's so many times that you've already broken the law and doesn't want me to record it.
Look
He
at
gets mad.
separation. Go. Let's go.
That's crazy.
Simple as that.
That is crazy, man.
I know. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, man.
He doesn't want you here.
Yeah, I know. I know that. I know. I've been knowing that. Trust me.
He's gonna.
You think I
fire
want to be
you.
here?
You're gonna.
No, well, let him give it to me in writing. Give it to me in writing, and I'll leave. Is that all right? Give it to me in writing. Give it to me in writing, and I'll understand why. But now he wants to. Yes, he does, bro. What do you mean he doesn't? What do you mean he doesn't? Why are you defending him?
I'm not defending
What interest do you have that you're defending him for? Why are you? You gave him the suggestion. You're the one that suggested I go to jail.
No.
Yes, you did. You said you want him to go to jail. You want him to go to jail?
Yeah, that's
a suggestion. Come on, bro. You already know what you're doing. No, see, I don't understand. Call for backup, bro. Call your supervisor. Call for backup. Call your supervisor, bro. Call your supervisor. Call for backup, please. Call your supervisor. Call for backup. No, man, it's not right. It's not right. I'm gonna call 911. No, I'm sorry, man. Huh? What? And how many times did I tell you to stop charging people more than you have to? Why? How many times did I tell you? How many times did I tell you not to charge people illegally or to charge items illegally, Danny? Huh? But what am I doing to you? See, and I'm asking for a supervisor, and instead of that, he wants to arrest me. He wants to arrest me, right? That's crazy, guys. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Finish the work. Get out my property.
How is work, Danny? Work is not finished. If I'm waiting to cover somebody else, Danny, my work is not there for finished, you know? Bro, let me grab my stuff, man. Oh my goodness, bro. If you let me go, I'll grab it. Jesus Christ, man. What are you doing, bro? Why do you guys keep doing this to me? Look, yo, look at this, bro. Look at this. What are you guys doing? Go, man. Oh my goodness, bro. Why are you treating me this way, yo? Because you're harassing me, bro. You're grabbing me for no reason. I didn't. How am I making it work, bro? My water. What's that? What is that? What is that right there? What is that?
Come on out.
What is that? No, bro. No, stop, bro. Please. You guys are making this matter worse, bro. You guys are going like, bro. Look, without respect to you, bro. I'm not trying to. Hey, listen, man. I'm trying to leave, bro. I'm trying to.
No, you're not.
Look how you're treating me, bro. My water bottle's right here, bro. My water bottle's right here. My water bottle is right here.
Let's go.
That is crazy. Nah, bro. This is not cool. This is not cool, bro. Stop it, man. Yo, look what you're causing, Danny. This is crazy, bro. Nah, man. Nah, bro. Stop it, bro. Listen, you guys leave me alone, bro. Stop. I'm asking you politely, bro. I don't know why I'm getting treated this way. Why?
Another entrance that way?
Yeah, there is. You guys can do all you got to do, but I understand why.
go on that side.
Why? That's crazy. It's open. It's unlocked. You can come in. I don't mind it. I don't mind leaving. I'm just asking for him to leave me alone. This officer right here was unprofessionally giving him suggestions about taking me to jail when I work here. I'm an employee here. I work here, and they're treating me this way for no reason other than I'm recording my right. I'm recording my right. No, bro.
Dude,
No,
making this 10 times.
I'm not making it. No, sir. They made this this way. No, I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting anything. I'm not resisting anything. Listen, I'm not resisting anything, bro. I'm not. Look, listen, I'm not. No, I'm not going to. Why? They weren't listening to what I had to say. Listen to this. Listen, look, that's crazy. They called for backup. They're calling for backup, bro. Well, stop it. I'm not resisting nothing, bro. I'm asking you guys to give me space. Leave me alone. Bro, I'm trying to go home. Right? But why are you guys got to call for backup? Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. I ask you to call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor, please. Call your supervisor, please. Call your supervisor, please. Nah, bro, call your supervisor. No, stop it. Look at this, bro. I hope everybody's watching this shit. This is HPD at its finest. I need for a supervisor, please. Please, I need a supervisor. Please, I need supervisor. Danny, help. Call supervisor. Danny, stop it. Danny, you're causing all this. You know that, right? It was a simple question, Danny. Look what you're causing now. I need a supervisor. I need a supervisor. I need a supervisor. I need a supervisor. It's unlocked. You don't need nothing. It's unlocked. But why are you? Look, I'm trying to help them too. And look how they're gonna treat me now. That is crazy. And I want there to be I want there to be record. If somebody watching this shit, bro, can you guys please call 911 and tell them to come to BMW Liquor store. How my boss is basically harassing me this much just to get me out. Can you guys please call somebody? Jimmy, my boy, call somebody, bro. Somebody. Esther, can you please call somebody? Please call somebody. They're over here. They're over here fucking harassing me for no reason except trying to call my employer out. Please. No, it's not. You don't know what it is. You don't know what it is.
It's been going on for like 5 minutes or so.
No, bro. It's been going on for years, bro. For years they've been doing this shit. For years. It's crazy, though. Can you guys please? I'm not acting a fool. The fools are you guys, bro, right now. And you know what's going to happen after this, but it's crazy. Bro, all I had to do was walk out of here. I know. I'm not refusing that. I'm clocking out, bro. But did I ever try to use it like you're trying to grab me? No. Because I never saw you as a threat. But you guys are threatening to me. There's another knife too right there on my belt. On my belt, yeah, bro. Look, grab it. I'm trying to help you out. Look, watch how I'm helping out. I'm not there. On my belt, bro. On my belt. On the belt itself. That's a pouch. That's not a belt. That's a belt. That's not a pouch.
I gotta get into it,
bro. It's behind me on my back. Jesus Christ.
You just added a felony.
How am I heading a felony, bro? I'm just telling you so that you can feel safe, right? But look how you're treating me. Look how you guys are grabbing me. Do I feel safe? I don't. Just open the pouch, bro. Just grab the pouch out of the pouch. Not that pouch, bro. Man, I don't understand, but why should I help you if you're not helping me, bro? You're not helping me at all. Why are you guys treating me this way? And just know that this was suggested by this officer right here, Mr. Kang, who suggested to them that they should take me to jail. Look how Danny's just trying to jump over that now. I don't know why they're doing that. There's nothing wrong. The door should be open. Why are you guys treating me this way, bro? Why are you treating me this way? What have I done? What have I done? Nothing. Ask for your supervisor. I asked for your supervisor. Please bring your supervisor out here. Bring your supervisor out here. Please, dude. Bring your supervisor out here. You guys are behaving unprofessionally, and I'm asking that you guys call a supervisor, please. Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, so I want you guys to see this, please. Somebody please call 911 and tell them that Hawthorne Police Department is harassing me, and they're basically like, how they're gonna arrest me. What's wrong with you, bro? Why are you guys doing this shit, bro? Why are you guys doing this? So, just a quick, I guess, commentary on the whole event. Following that moment, I actually, and this is something that I want to be able to confirm with the body cams, but what I did was I was telling the officer, whose name was Officer Lopez, a gentleman that came in front of me, not this guy that came running over towards me, but another, or maybe him, I can't really recall if it was him or some other shorter, darker dude, but basically some Hispanic dude, Lopez, was the one that basically yelled and told me that he was about to tase me, and I told him, you know, you don't have to escalate it, bro. You don't have to escalate it. Be the leader, bro. Be the leader, or something like that. I told him, I was like, you know, think about what you're doing. And of course, right after I said that, he started tasing me. The whole event basically happened,
And ever since that, there's been the whole issue where basically my boss probably assumed that I was going to go to jail and be there for longer to abandon my position or abandon my job. And what I ended up doing was going to jail for the night. They let me go in the morning because there was no serious charges, apparently filed enough for me to have to be there until the court date. And so to my surprise, I didn't think I was going to get out, but apparently, thankfully, I did. Once I did, it was morning time. I had to work the next day, which was actually yesterday. And technically yesterday, because right now it's about 4 or 5 a.m. almost. But basically, I showed up to work. I was with no shoelaces, my shoes, everything, all my stuff was in the trash bag. Some of my other property is also still being held in property or somewhere else that I wasn't able to access, or according to them, I could not access until Monday. And so I basically have my chargers and all the stuff that helps me get by is in that other backpack as well, and they refuse giving me access to it. But the whole fact is that my boss was trying to paint this as something that he could later on use to try to get me, or to try to fire me, assuming that I would have, basically abandoned my job. But instead, what I did was I texted them in the morning, and I texted them about me being available to work, and that despite everything that happened, I was still going to go to work, right? Because this was the issue, right? After this text message was sent, right here at around 5:12, that's when the boss shows up and tries to tell me to close because of the accident that happened. I was basically like, why? I still got to count my money. You haven't told me if my money's good or not. You're basically, stopping me from covering my coworker, who I clearly was going to cover because I told him that, I got him when he was going to come 45 minutes late. They didn't like that kind of leadership or executive decision that I was trying to make to cover him, because I know my boss doesn't really do that well when it comes to cashiering, and he forgets prices and all that, right? Or at least when other people are covering me, there's no issue for them to cover me and get more hours. But when it's me specifically, they don't allow it. And so what they were closing the store for was not because of the accident, but because of what happened and because of me. And so basically, in the morning, once I got released from jail, I walked over back to, the job site, which is BMW at 4533 West Imperial Highway, Lenox, California, 90304. And so I told him, I'm writing to follow up on yesterday's events. I was verbally told to leave the premises while being removed by a police officer who was advising you on the situation. I was not provided with any termination paperwork or final paycheck. I am ready and available for my next work shift. Please confirm in writing if I'm still employed or when you expect me to report to work. If I have been terminated, please provide my final paycheck and all required separation documents immediately as required by California law. Instead of telling me what he had already told my coworkers, or apparently, or one of them at least, that I was no longer welcome there, that I was fired or something, because I guess he assumed that I wasn't going to get out of jail. But because I did, I sent this text message, right? But then at the same time, considering that maybe, things are going to be not too well, but I still I was kind of hesitating, and also wanted to know if I should stay or if I should go, or if I should use it as a sick day. But I was also trying to confirm to make sure that I got some time to get some rest, change and all that, be presentable. So I told him, good morning, my shift today is at 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. I'm here, I'm ready to work my scheduled shift. Yesterday you asked me to leave the store with Officer Kang present, and I have not received anything in writing that I'm terminated. Please confirm my termination, please confirm in writing whether I should work my shift or if you are formally terminating my employment, right? Again, but this is already after he told me the previous day verbally that he fired me, according to also Officer Kang, who was the one advising him about saying and doing all these things in order for him to be able to say that I was otherwise trespassing. And okay, so then I told him again, because I considered it. I said, okay, because of what happened yesterday with Hawthorne PD, and because I still have no clear answer about whether or not I'm fired or on schedule, I cannot safely work today. I want it to be clear that I am not quitting or abandoning my job. I am willing to work my future shifts once this is clarified and I have my property back. If possible, I would like today to be treated as a sick day, because at that point I realized, okay, he's not replying to me. I don't want him to try to call police on me or embarrass me or threaten me or pull me out the way he did that day, just because I show up. And the day before that, he had already, or the day that this event of the videos I just showed, when they were arresting me, he was telling me that I was fired and that otherwise I would be trespassing and all this stuff, right? And so basically, I was trying to. This is the group text, right? Because this was happening at 9:45 a.m. This message at 11 p.m. only came after Danny individually and separately to me, messaged me, which is surprising because he never really messages back or tries to write back. As you can see here, I tried to explain stuff to him in Korean. I try to translate it because he otherwise never does anything to be responsive. And look at how he just replies, okay, whatever. He still doesn't give me any response about me trying to get some access or footage or whatever. When he does try to do something, he'll just very lightly, so this was like actually surprising, the first longest and actually formal message he ever wrote to me, which is, I received your message, right? Okay, so this is today at 2:26 p.m. My phone was dead the whole time, and I turned it on much later, I think, but then this is when I got the message, or at least when I read it. Can't say exactly what time it was. It was already late night though, but I received the message at 2:26 p.m. and he was writing to me, I received your message. We need some time to make a decision regarding your employment. You do not need to come to work during this decision-making period. However, we will continue to pay you according to your existing schedule until a decision is made. We will contact you as soon as the decision is finalized. Thank you. So basically, he put me on formal leave, right? So then I'm like, all right, cool, sure, And I replied to him, well, thank you. This is before 11, before I sent the group text. But I'm over here thinking about my reply and assessing what I should say in return. And I told him, thank you for your message. I understand that you are placing me on leave until your decision-making period is over, and that I should not come to work, and that you will continue to pay me according to my current 40-hour week schedule until the decision is made. I want to be clear that I am not resigning or abandoning my job, and I remain willing to work my full schedule, shifts, and once you are done, or allow me to return, right? My expectation is that my pay during this period will be at the correct minimum wage for our location, consistent with the laws and county information I have already provided him, because I have been since the longest trying to tell them that they were supposed to be paying us at the higher unincorporated minimum wage, and because the issues prior to this was me basically addressing the sick pay that they did pay us, but at a much lower and basically the state minimum wage at $16, when there was already the issue that I had already brought it to them a long time ago about the fact that we were part of an unincorporated part of LA, first thinking that we were part of Lennox, which I felt, that was where we were at. But then I did my research, I did my homework, I contacted everybody, the city, the zoning people, and the zoning people confirmed to me that we're actually a part of Hawthorne. So I said, okay, we're a part of Hawthorne, which is indeed incorporated. However, and this is the next message, that even though Hawthorne is incorporated, right, it shows up also in, bam, what do we see? Another state or city website, or government website, sorry, but that states that Hawthorne, as I circled there, also shows up in the unincorporated areas, right? And so I had also mentioned to him that because of that, whenever there's two conflicts, whenever there's a conflict of two minimum wages, the employer has to award the employee to the higher or the minimum wage that favors the employee, meaning the higher wage, right? And so this is what I obviously was clarifying to him and replying to him. As you know, everything leading up to this started with my complaints and to you and to your father about underpayment, sick pay, and other legal issues at the store. And my attempt with him, because I have another conversation that I recorded that I got his consent on, but that we recorded a conversation on Tuesday that I was having with him about all this stuff that I brought up to him, right? And so then we had that conversation. And following that, I thought he was going to talk to his father and maybe address the fact that they're going to pay me and everyone else the proper minimum wage, as well as an employee co-worker that has not gotten paid his sick pay. And so basically I was just addressing this to them, and along with other issues such as charging improperly on certain items, and the most important one, for instance, was the bags. He charges the bags as groceries when a bag is not a grocery. It's a separate item that should be itemized or separately labeled as bag, taxable, whatever, but it's not a grocery. And I was calling him out on the fact that we are mislabeling or mischarging a lot of things, and we're failing to charge the proper sales tax. That's the videos that I was recording his father and trying to have this conversation with the main boss, which is his dad, because it felt like everything I spoke with Danny about, his dad was not either informed or otherwise was informed, but they were just continuing to ignore, as they always do, included that they were trying to basically push me out and not allow me to cover my coworker, and failing to open up the business and choosing to lose business in order to retaliate against me. And so that's what I was recording. And then when Danny shows up, or better yet, before Danny shows up, my coworker shows up, I was ready to make the switch with him, but because the boss told him to leave or to go back to his car or whatever, he surely did. And that was what was kind of surprising to me, because here I am still recording, right? So then Danny shows up, because again, I'm still waiting for my coworkers to come in so I can make the switch, and so I don't have to cover his shift no more. But then Danny comes and I start recording him. At this point too, I think I had already also maybe clocked out and just kind of ended my shift since I already saw my coworker there. And I figured, okay, now that he's here, watch, I'm going to prove that as soon as I leave, they're going to open up the store, and it has nothing to do with the issue that was happening outside, which is an accident that happened down the street. And despite the accident, when the streets was closed on both sides of the street, the store was still open, and me and my other coworker who were leaving around that time, or Jose, who worked in the morning, was basically, we were still getting customers. Might have been slower, but we were still getting customers, right? And so I continued to tell him there, my goal has always been to help correct problems and not threaten him or the business. And because of my situation and everything that I've already, been going through, I had to report the underpayment or lack of sick pay to the labor's commissioner, right? And any rejection of my hours or pay, basically letting him know that everything he's doing it seems like punishment for raising these issues. And I also would like to know approximately how long his decision making was going to take, so that I don't, let it go for too long. And then basically that he's just going to use as I abandoned my job because he chose to schedule me or not schedule me or whatever, but that he's basically doing all of this strategically while he's trying to divide me and my coworkers by giving whatever other information to them and not clarifying exactly what transpired to cause them to remove me the way that they did. As I later found out, one of my coworkers was even wondering about, right? So I sent him that message after sending him everything else, including the links to all these, basically what minimum wage is for anywhere in unincorporated parts of LA, right? So here it goes, 18 for what is that, unincorporated parts, or 1781, right? And it's starting July of this year, it should be at 1847. So all of this, I'm just trying to inform them, and I've been trying to inform them. So let's go back, all right? And then following that link, I also I made a mistake here, but I was trying to tell him that, like, if in case he needs me to show him in that specific part where it says the issue about two conflicting minimum wages, as I also had a hard time somewhat to kind of find it, I was trying to be helpful to him because I know how difficult it was for me, and I understand, and I put myself in his shoes, thinking if I was a English second language and also mostly majority or primarily a Korean speaker who is reading English, I would probably also find it hard to find. And so I basically found it and highlighted in a part of a separate website where it talks about what the minimum wage issue is, right? So specifically here, and that's even bolded by the website, right? The employer must follow the stricter standard that is the one that is most beneficial to the employee whenever there's a conflicting issue of two minimum wages. So I specifically highlighted that for him, and following that, I sent him the link of where he can find that page that I found it on, but highlighting number 5. What is it? Number 3. Point number 3, which is what I was trying to address him. There it is. Sure enough. Right, and this is, as you can see, dir.california.gov. So these are all the government websites. When in the past I tried to bring this up to him, he was saying, I have to ask the CPA. Why do you have to ask the CPA? Who is the CPA? CPA let's look them up. See, CPA is supposed to be the people that help them out with the taxes, right? So CPA, California, CPA. I forgot what it stands for. CPA. PA. So California Board of Accountancy. So basically, they are the people that help them do their taxes, right? And so I was wondering and thinking, why exactly do you need to contact the CPA over issues or concerns that I'm already addressing to you that are by the government, posted by the government regarding our minimum wage or pay, right? So I sent that out to him, all right, and including the link to that. Anyway, so that's where I ended the conversation with him, because he never replied to me about how long his decision period was going to be. I started assuming and thinking, maybe even feeling that, okay, he's probably trying to paint the story, tell customers or tell my coworkers a different story of what happened to try to make me look like the bad guy, or make me look like I needed this time off, rather than allow me to cover my shift, because he wants to paint the picture however he wants. The reason why this is something that I got concerned about and that I worried he might do is specifically because he has in the past sabotaged a relationship that I had with somebody by talking negatively behind my back. And when I questioned him or confronted him about it, he denied it twice, lying to me twice that it wasn't him, when I already had confirmation, and I knew that it was him because he was the only one that had the information that was therefore shared with me by somebody who I never told. So, and this person, unfortunately and sadly and disappointingly, I lost connection with, I lost respect from, and I lost even maybe an opportunity for anything to transpire. And this was somebody who even at one point had offered me to move in with her, but because I wanted to take things slow, I basically was trying to be careful about it, and I appreciate it, but rejected that offer during that time because we were still getting to know each other. But at least it was during a time that things were going rather well. And maybe by hearing this, or from hearing this, or maybe I don't know if you heard about it from her, or it might have been something that I might have said to him, but just the fact that me and her were starting to hit it off, and he saw that, he became jealous or envious or something, but he started talking negatively about me to her. And multiple people would always tell me, there's somebody at work that doesn't like you. My mind was never in anywhere close to thinking that it was going to be him, never thinking that it was going to be Danny, the very person who offered me the position after denying me the position, because claiming that back in 2015 when I worked for them again, or also, I acquired a ticket for selling tobacco to a minor only because I was rushed. I was at the store by myself. The other coworker was on lunch. I had nobody else to cover me, and I had a long ass line of people. And the kid came in asking for a single blunt. And because at that time, Danny used to tell me, don't ID everybody if they look familiar or whatever. Don't ID everybody because it takes up time, and you want to get rid of customers fast. And so, out of pressure, out of stress, out of whatever, I immediately just sold him. It was only a single blunt, so I didn't think there was much harm in that. I sold the kid the blunt. Following him, there was another customer who turned out to be an undercover cop, and it was a sting operation. This incident left me feeling nervous and wanting to be loyal to the store. So when they were trying to blame the store for not covering me, or not having enough people to cover me or to cover the store and help me, and also trying to blame them on not training us properly, I was denying it. I was insisting that it was not the store's fault, because Danny had already told me that if they get one more ticket, they would lose their tobacco license. And so I didn't want to be the person that caused that, right? So I took full responsibility. I was loyal. I was faithful. I stuck my head out and said, it was all my fault, right? In order to take full blame so that they wouldn't lose their license. And was this ever appreciated? Was this ever thanked? Probably not at all. And look, if anything, look how they behave with me now. And so when I came back around, because I needed a job this time in 2023 or 2022, I believe, I can't remember what year exactly it was, that I started coming around and asking him and if he needed help around the store. And he would tell me, no, you cannot work here because you got a ticket. And I'm like, all right, cool, no worries, no matter what, it's fine. And I would walk away, and I would just keep going to the store every so often whenever I was, doing my little shopping. Back then, I was really struggling, and I would go to donate plasma just to get money to eat, and I was doing clinical trials and, all this stuff that basically, I'm not too proud of, and that might be high risk, but it was what I did in order to survive. And therefore, I did what I had to do until finally Danny again offered me, hey, you still looking for work? I said, yeah, absolutely. Bam, he goes and he hires me, right? So this is why, to me, it has that much more importance that I've been so thankful and grateful of their employment of me, that I've tried to make sure that any ideas that I try to propose to him are only to make the business better and not worse. And every single time that they try to argue, or basically they claim that I'm arguing, they start the argument. I've told Danny, whenever he told me that things were slow, I've given him ideas on how to make things better, and he always told me that I didn't have enough experience working at a liquor store, so I don't know any better. Who am I to say whatever? And I would always respond to him, you know what? Or not always, but there was ones that I basically responded to him, and I told him, you know what? I might not necessarily have all experience in working at a liquor store for as long as you have, like you have, because of your dad or whatever, but I at least have had multiple experiences in many different jobs, some more professional than working as a cashier here, and some that were, self-produced, self-promoted, self-created, self-planned, all of that, events that I used to do myself with nobody teaching me and just learning along the way. And so there was no excuse or reason, because he was even a part of some of those events. For the after parties, I would invite him. He was a whole different person to me, at least in the past, and just changed at some point or became somebody else. And this was something that I recognized even in the beginning when I worked for him this last term around, when I basically felt like I was being treated a certain way, or he wouldn't greet me and he would greet everybody else, also included customers, before he would ever greet me or acknowledge me. And I would constantly try to greet him, and he would just kind of give me this cold shoulder. And I remember at that time I had a little bit of money left over still from my clinical trial that I did. And I would tell him, yo, Danny, man, if there's something that you don't like about me working here, just tell me, bro. I don't understand why you hired me and then you make me feel this way if you don't want me working with you, I don't understand what I've done, whatever. And then he responds, what, jealous or something? And I was like, I don't know if it's jealousy or what, bro, but whatever it is, it's something you treat me differently for, and I don't see you treating anybody else that way. And if you don't want me to work here, just say so, man. I don't mind leaving. At that time, like I said, I had a little bit of money saved up still, that I had enough to kind of get out and go look for another job or do something. But because I was not in the, financial, strain that I currently am now, where he basically made me lose hours. I was living in a U-Haul van. I lost a lot of money. I owe a lot of money. I got back in debt. Things that were just kind of crazy, right? I lost a lot of money to Caltrans, cleaning up my camps, people setting my camp on fire, vandalizing, stealing, constantly doing damage to everything that I was trying to rebuild or start from. And basically, it all just kind of went to shit, right? And so it became this whole thing where it's like, yo, if you don't want me working here, just tell me. But he said, nah, it's because he had issues with his baby mama and this and that. And I was like, well, damn, Danny, like, just say that, man. And if you want to talk about it, bro, we could talk about it. But you don't got to take it out on me or blame me for that. Like, you're still a young dude, good looking dude, whatever. You could probably find another woman. If that's issues you're having with your baby mama, I'm sure you can find somebody else or whatever, like, do what you got to do. But don't take it out on me. And, I'm over trying to encourage him even after that. And so from that moment forward, things seemed to get a little bit better, but they still were rather strange, and it was still kind of weird, especially and after a specific event, which I believe was the one that kind of started really everything, which was when I was talking to a customer about the machine charging an extra cent and me charging the guy the extra cent, and not to be surprised if, like don't tell me about it, that's just the way the machine is scanning it. And because even though it was also rather strange to me, that's kind of what we were addressing. But I don't know if Danny heard the conversation or not, but he just didn't like the fact that I was talking to that customer. And so he comes back and tells me to just take care of the customer, and that's it. And so he basically tells me to, in that way, and kind of like scolding me in front of the customer. And so my automatic response was like, yo, Danny, how come right now that everything is full and everything's taken care of, you don't want me talking to a single customer, but when it's busy and there's a line of people and you do it, it's okay? Right? I pointed out the double standard, but I knew that I also did it in front of the customer. So as soon as the customer left, I also kind of caught myself, and I thought to myself, damn, that's the boss's son. I shouldn't have talked to him that way in front of the customer. Let me apologize as soon as he's close to me. So when he did come into the booth and he was doing something with the bottles, I was like, yo, Danny, I'm sorry that I spoke to you that way. I shouldn't have spoken to you that way in front of the customer. I'm sorry, He's like, it's okay. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, it's okay. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, it's okay. All right, whatever. He nodded or something at that point. I'm like, all right, man, because I just don't want you to feel like some type of way. And I realized that was unprofessional of me or something, right? But basically trying to apologize. That following week, after I told him that, he basically starts cutting hours and claiming that he's doing so because business was slow. But whose hours is he cutting? Just mine and another co-worker at the time, who was basically an old man who's already retired, and just one of the neighbors that he would call for whenever it was extra busy as extra help, but not because he was necessarily needed, right? So he was letting him go or cutting his hours on purpose because he's an old man. He's not really that necessary, but only when the store was extremely busy, he would hire him as an extra. But with me, he started cutting my hours and nobody else's. Right, no other cashier was getting their hours cut. So then I brought that up to his attention. I said, hey, Danny, how come I'm the only cashier who's losing hours, and the other cashiers have X amount of hours compared to me? That following week, he started cutting everyone's hours, not just mine. But mine were the most affected because I didn't have as many at that time. I didn't have as many as everyone else. I only was racking about 30 something hours, and so basically. What I lost was nothing compared to what they lost, because what they lost was like they had already 40 plus hours, and so them losing a couple hours didn't really make a difference. They were still over full time. I personally was under full time and then losing hours, and so he started showing this kind of behavior, doing that to me, and so that became what it became up until the point that I go to the hospital. And when I'm there, I think that I'm there for basically 2 days, because that's how bad I started feeling. Plus I had just gotten evicted from the house with a lady who was helping me stay there with her until we got evicted, and also after Caltrans had cleaned up my camp, and that she saw everything because her house was there near my camp, and she witnessed everything. So she offered to help me. She moved me in with her for some time, and then while I was trying to help her save her property, she didn't do the proper things to do all the paperwork or everything correctly, and we ended up getting evicted while I was at the house and she was gone, and basically told that I couldn't, I didn't have enough time to grab anything. I had to leave, and I was feeling terrible, and so I told Danny, and I called Danny, and I have a recording of that actually, of letting him know that I didn't feel well, and that basically I was gonna go to the hospital because I wasn't feeling well, which I believe I should have. But here it is right here.
Hey, Danny.
Good.
I don't know if I can make it in today, man. We got evicted.
Oh?
We got evicted. The lady, she wasn't answering. She wasn't there. I was asleep, and they woke me up, and I had to get out fast.
Uh-huh.
And so I just made up a tent right here across the street again from where I was at, and my stomach hurts really bad.
Oh, you cannot come to work, right? That's it, right?
Fuck, man. I want to.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what to do with my life.
Yeah, okay. Okay, no problem.
There is a problem, man. I need a place to stay, Danny. I want to fix my life, man. I want to fix everything that's going on. I just don't know how, you know? I don't know how to do it with cut hours, not missing work. I don't want to miss work, you know? I don't want to miss work over stupid stuff like this. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that is cool. I gotta do something. Okay, you can show the work, right? That's correct.
I gotta figure that out, man. I haven't changed clothes. I'm wearing the same clothes, but... Oh, man. I think I'm gonna go to a hospital, Danny. Fuck. Yeah, I can't go today. Alright, man. I'll stop by and see you guys though for a little bit real fast. Alright.
Okay, and in addition to this recording, I don't know if that date that we showed was a correct date, but point being though, oh no, this happened on January 24th of 2024. That was the eviction. But what it was that I didn't even know we had sick pay. At no moment there that he'd tell me, oh, you have some sick pay available. Don't worry about it. We'll use your sick pay, your sick hours, whatever. Nothing like that. Never. And so that was what bothered me too later on, that I was just like, yo, this guy, you know, when I started getting harassed and everything, that's when I started doing my research and finding out and learning that we had sick pay available to us, except that it wasn't offered. And so instead what happened was that because I was there for 4 days thinking I was there for 2, he basically goes and hires someone new, gives him my schedule, gives him my hours, and basically cuts me down to 2 days of work for 5 hours each day. And that is to work with him, after also telling me when I was questioning him about getting extra hours and why he wasn't giving me extra hours, that it was because he didn't like me. I don't know if he said that jokingly or seriously, but then he also said that it was because, you know, business was slow and I tried giving him ideas of how to increase business, but basically all of that was ignored, and instead I was mocked and treated rather differently. And these are the text messages to all that basically, right? Where he says something about, you know, they cut hours because business was slow. And then I started providing some ideas about where to start. Let's see. I started giving, you know, just making up some ideas, right? Let's see. Oh, yeah, because I was suggesting jokingly, but also maybe seriously, talking about karaoke, escape room, or something, you know, giving some ideas that he could do on the upstairs to kind of make up for that slow business or whatever. And then I was like, anyways, it makes me feel like that it's not because business is slow, but because of a form of punishment. And since it's just a certain person's hours that were reduced, I was like, but it's all good. Like any other solution I attempt to offer, it will be ignored. Y'all take care. Good night, right? And I think even my coworker was making fun of that, but I was trying to make sure, you know, give some ideas. And even Joe was joking, saying this is a liquor store, not a bar. And I was like, oh, that's what it was. I think this. So I guess the text messages worked the other way. So it started off where, oh yeah, because he was like, I was saying ideas about how to increase business, and then I was like, look, you can create a social media presence. You can ask customers to play their favorite songs. You can play it over time, no repetitive commercials. Basically, the radio that I was trying to bring, my stereo and all that during this time, and because he always wanted a specific radio station, but I started showing him that customers actually preferred the custom music rather than the music that he played, and also just giving him ideas, basically, right? and then I just sarcastically said, oh, because he replied, he's like, there is only one reason I know for sure. Most of the liquor store customers want to shop quickly and they don't like waiting in line. Most customers know what they want to buy, and they know for sure what's available. All we have to do is figure that out and then find it quickly and give it to them. And most customers will be happy. I think it was at the end or something like that, right? And I said, that must be why business slow got it. I was like, so see, I don't know everything or anything, but I learned something right now. I was like, just a small postscriptum thought. People buy liquor to ease stress, relax, and have fun. Waiting in line and getting upset because it's not fast enough proves that, right? So I was like, humans seek entertainment, excitement, relaxation more than just liquor. That's why some customers want to talk and others don't, right? But it was back to the point of why I was suggesting. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, customers want to talk and to give them a space to talk, right? To sing karaoke. Customers don't and will buy, and customers that don't will just buy and leave, right? Because to clarify the fact that, okay, people that want their stuff and they don't want to participate, they don't got to participate. But there's going to be customers that might be interested, right? But whatever, I put the little emoji thinking money, and then I'm just shut up, And that's when Joe jokingly said there's a liquor store, not a bar. And I was like, downstairs it is. Upstairs is possible solutions, temporary options to slow business. Karaoke 1 month, escape room another. So that's the stuff that I was trying to propose, right? But he kept claiming that this was basically, or made me feel basically that all my propositions were just not taken seriously. And so that's why I replied, well, you know what? Forget about it, right? It makes me feel like it's just a punishment, because that's exactly what it was. It was a punishment to me specifically for addressing the things that I addressed. And I think this is actually when he started. Does it have the dates? Oh, it doesn't have the exact date. But this is the little flyer that he sent me when he was first trying to offer me the position or the work schedules. So this was the original work schedules available that I was starting to work before whatever it became. So this is a good one, because this is actually what shows what my original hours were before it became anything else. And the only reason why I was later on given full time was because another co-worker of ours, rest in peace, Javier, basically passed away due to fighting cancer. And because he passed away, his hours became available, and this was after the retaliation that they already did about cutting my hours with the new employee, and also after I found an attorney who was going to do a pro bono one-time letter to them regarding my situation, and convincing them simply with that simple letter, convinced them to return my hours and do so rather quickly, which I found surprisingly strange and coincidental. That it was like, okay, see how quick they were able to return my hours. That meant that we were never slow in business, and never at a point where they couldn't, adjust or give me the extra time or the proposed, otherwise suggested extra hours and stuff. Because when I came back from the hospital, that was another argument I made with him. I was like, how is it that you told me business was slow, and even threw in my face that not to mix business with friendship or whatever, or not to mix our friendship with business, because what it was business or whatever. And I said, you know what, Danny, that's where we differ. See, I treat all my friendships like a business, and that means that I'm looking at everybody as if they are either a liability or an asset to me. And if you're a liability to me, I don't care how long I've known you for, I'm going to cut them off regardless, because I'm at a point in my life where I'm really trying to take things seriously and get out of the situation that I'm in, right? So that's why I basically told him that, I'm never going to think about things in the sense where it's just friendship, or because I'm your friend, you should treat me any more special. No, on the contrary. I even told him afterwards, right, that I was like, and if I was to compare our friendship to business, you'd be giving me shitty business, because at the time he was just giving me shitty friendship, in other words, too, because I'm over here trying to compare things to the business or trying to make the business better, and he's not even taking anything that I'm saying seriously. So that's just one of the very many things that they've done to me, right? Look, including these bad written checks, handwritten, put white on it, his dad put white on it, whatever. It's just ridiculous, right? Very unprofessional, thinking that I'm going to be able to cash that out of my bank with all those mistakes. And then even trying to charge me $20 to get a new checkbook because of his mistake. So these are just one of the many pieces of evidence that I have, but things that I was addressing from the very start, so that if anybody wonders what transpired or what happened, before yesterday, or what caused me to get removed from the store the way I did, was that I've been addressing all the issues that they've made and that they've had. I've been addressing them. When we didn't have AC, or the AC didn't work, I reported it so that we can get the AC changed and hopefully not be so hot in the store. When they didn't have hot water in the bathroom, I reported that too, so that we can get some hot water in the bathroom. And even then, it's still not entirely hot. It's just kind of strange, right? So it doesn't really kill germs, maybe, I don't know. But all of this stuff has been always to try to make the store better, the business better, never to attack them, never to try to take the business from them. If anything, I told them clearly, I don't want to work there forever. I just want to be able to get on my feet, get my equipment, and get everything necessary for me to leave on good terms and get back to my production work that I otherwise want to do more professionally. And that was my very obvious, very honest agreement with him, and that my plan. But he often failed to even consider that anything was anything, right? And it always felt like he was trying to be jealous or envious or something, or just not allow me to grow despite being my employer, and then sabotaging that situation or that relationship with that particular significant other person. And then one day when she's disrespecting me and acting out in front of me or to disrespect me, does nothing, absolutely nothing about it to help, to stop, to correct. And so it's just so much, like I said, that I've gone through, that I've tried my best to address without really making a bigger case about it. But after what happened recently, and if they choose to, to fire me or to try to twist this in some way where I'm basically ignored or not considered, then I want to stress more than anything that I have all the evidence that I have, and that I've been collecting it to protect myself, and not only that, but to also benefit my coworkers and get them properly compensated. And so anything that I did that I was doing, that I was recording, is also available on YouTube and on the same playlist. But that I just wanted to give a brief and, if not entire, total explanation of everything that's happened from my perspective, with my timeline that I also have available for download and on the cloud. And I'm still processing and organizing everything. So what they're doing right now by giving me this paid leave is actually giving me time to organize all this, to make sure that it's properly submitted to whoever it is I need to submit it to, but making it easier for them to find any piece of evidence or otherwise information that they require to confirm anything I've been saying. So I appreciate you for watching this, whoever this gets to. But this is my experience so far. I'm Christian Bautista Mejia, working for BMW Liquor Store, who is also a sub-company of Sun Eel Incorporated. And today it is February 1st, I believe. Yep, February 1st at 5:20 a.m. And this is what I've been going through. I hope somebody can help out. It is getting a lot to me, or it's becoming a lot for me. Included, my homeless situation is still prevalent and up for any random removal day, and so I don't want to be caught by surprise or put in a situation where maybe he decides to report it because he knows where I stay, just to get me sabotaged enough to not be able to come to work someday. But we'll see what his decision makes, or what decision he makes. And then also I might send a light text just to follow up and say that he never answered my question as to how long he might need to take in order to say, or maybe not send anything at all, so in order to not pressure him or push him closer to the decision I don't want him to make. But at least I recorded that I asked for clarity, and I was yet again ignored and not replied to the way he always does. Thank you once again. 5:21 a.m. February 1st, and it is Sunday. I would have been otherwise supposed to work at 11, but I'm going to take the day to rest, clean up, and reorganize my mind, because they say that a clustered backpack or clustered home is a clustered mind, and I'm trying to get rid of those clusters and make sure that I come out of all of this fine. So thank you for watching, and thank you for your time. Peace.